I think we're going to have a couple of talks today, and I'm trying the new thing is not go so long, because I'm a historic person that if I went an hour, next time I'll go 2 hours. I've even had 3-hour jobs. So let me say this, people talk. People go to conferences. People go to speeches and so on. And in general, what's very prevalent is that we're looking for some information we don't have. So that, what does that mean? We're honoring someone that calls themselves an expert. And, well, they may be an expert because they had a career and they've done 30 years of research, and they are on they go around giving speeches and talking to people and enlightening people about their expertise. And so that type of a talk is like they're full of their knowledge and I'm empty of their knowledge. And so then I go there to get filled up. And I honor them, but as far as I'm concerned, and as well on this subject, I'm like, I don't honor myself, because what do I know about? I didn't research that stuff. So then a lot of talking and a lot of discussions are about me giving you my opinions or my quote unquote expertise. And then you saying, well, yeah, that could be, but what about this, and or maybe you just say, no, that's not right. So a lot of people in the world are just going like pushing back and forth. We were talking about pushing in our last session, that every time you push, it creates a back push. And so then we're living in a world that seems to be going more and more divisive with people and with families, and maybe in your own mind you're divisive with yourself because maybe you're unsure about who you are and looking for these experts. And of course now you can go online and you find out information about everything, and it's all very interesting, but it's all taking you away from your here now experience.
Maybe not, because in my opinion, I don't even know if these are opinions, actually. I don't know.
These are my opinion also. So
yeah,
so I
really don't know if this is an opinion. Like I haven't used that word so much, but how I see it is that the interest starts in the person themselves. So, and yes, they get like a whiff of apple pie, and or they get the whiff of somebody, brain technical in, whatever, whoever it is, whether it's also the awakened state, coming into the stateless state of being. Certainly there's some part of themselves that feels the scent, and they get drawn to themselves, and that part of themselves rests in the other person. And it's not really like they are in there, but when the two come together, it's a tantric sort of thing, that they get drawn to a particular person, and that person will let that, whatever it is that's being called for, come through them in the perfect language for them. I mean, that's sometimes what I find. It's not necessarily like I have a big pot of information at all. And there is quite a bit of experiential understanding that has repeated and repeated and repeated over time, enough so that I can say, yeah, this is, often a human experience. But even that's how general I can be. I wouldn't say we are this or we are that in more than that, because I don't know, because I'm not everybody. I can only speak about what I've actually experienced myself and those people I've come into contact with, which It's probably a really small part of humanity so far.
Yeah. Well,
But
statistics,
is that,
they
yeah,
take such a small sample with statistics, 1,000 people, and they project it on the whole nation, right?
yeah.
So then maybe what you see, it depends on your choice of people, I think, but it is skewed because certain people come to you that have certain
Well, actually,
so-called dilemmas.
interestingly, and I don't think it's just me because that's way too many, but there's like 78 million hits on my website.
On your what?
On my website, 78, no,
Oh,
780, something like that, 780 million, or yeah, some sort of crazy
it must be
amount.
780,000, right?
No,
Is
it's
it a million?
million.
It's over a million. Oh yeah,
No,
what?
it's in the like 700 million or 78 million, one of those. I'm
Oh
really
yeah.
bad.
And those are
But
like, it comes from analytics.
yeah, the Google
You can
Analytics.
check your website with analytics, right?
Yeah. And so, you know, a lot of that probably is repeat people who come to the website because they feel relaxed, from reading whatever's there. But that's a lot. So it's not.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Okay, like I had a website too, and I would look at analytics. I don't want to get into a technical discussion. Maybe I should just
Okay.
leave it. But
So maybe that's not a
you
very
know,
good, accurate thing. Is that what you're
well,
saying?
no, I'll say this though, that analytics also tells how long each, the average, not the average. It gives you a graph of how long people stayed on the site. Okay, if someone stayed on my site 5 seconds or 25 seconds, I don't count that as a visitor, right? Because they had to stay a minute or two to at least listen to something or read something. So then it's really heavily skewed in the beginning. I'm not trying to say you don't have the numbers if you want to have
Oh
78
yeah, no,
million.
and I don't think that's I think a high
But
enough
they have something
number.
called bots. Robots come to your site too, and they're counted as
Yeah.
traffic, right? And they come for like half a second, right? And so then you
Yeah.
should check that
No, I
out a
think
little
I
more.
think
But
my
it's
average, the
okay.
average on my website is about, 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
that could
great.
be like the robot would be 1 second, and then maybe somebody else might be 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Somewhere in
right.
between. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, well, I don't know how we got off on that one, but basically what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to pour my expertise out on you because I was saying that, okay, one kind of conversation is kind of like fullness going toward emptiness, right? And so then, well, let's say if I was going to do that and say I have some fullness and I want to give it out to people, I would have to have at least an outline or a PowerPoint or something, so that I could lay it out in a certain sequence and say, you need to know this before you know that, and then build a structure of information and build into a knowledge structure and try to make it logical so that each step was not such a big step that people couldn't follow it. And so then I would have that. But, like, okay, now we're talking. I didn't make an outline. And I don't know what I want to talk about. And it's just kind of like off the cuff and comes off of what you say. And then maybe what you say, what I say, what you say comes off of what I say. And so then it's a different kind of a conversation. I just want to make these two kind of points, like certain people are, okay, well, people just surf the web. They're looking for information that's from experts or that or the interesting or that's something that they never saw. You're saying that there was some kind of attraction that was already in there,
well,
and that
they're
but they're
interested.
spending hours and hours on the web, and they're not really spending any hours and hours on their own life. If they're spending any time on their own life, it's like how to get out of here. I want to get out of this situation. The whole idea about entertainment is trying to escape, right? What is entertainment? I'll ask you that question.
Well, I guess, I mean, all of it's animation. So eventually, when a person's listening from life from the inside, whether or not it's the screen or whether or not it's the light or whether it's not, the picture on the wall or my hand coming up in front of my face, all of it's just vibrating here like this. So doesn't make any difference really if it's a computer or it's the air or my foot.
Yeah.
Right? It's all dancing. It's all dancing. And so, I think that's where that earlier in the other conversation, we talked about what harmony is. And so anybody, they can feel when they get saturated to a certain point, whether their butt gets sore when they're sitting in front of a laptop or watching Netflix or whatever, that they get topped up, and then that's enough. And sometimes people don't allow themselves to get saturated so they can find that edge. And so they're, wanting whatever that is, but they don't really let go to it and let themselves get saturated so they can come to the edge, the end of it, to like
The end
sometimes.
of reaching out. You're talking about the edge of reaching out to the other, right? See, I don't really look
Could
at
be.
it that way. That's all honorable stuff. I just look at it like that. When you're looking at your own life and how it's going in this moment, and when you're looking like what is creating this moment, probably, like you say, unless there's an irritation, you're not really looking. So that let's just talk about irritations then. There's an irritation or like something you wish was a little better, and okay, you've got a lot of fear about trying to change something and it might get worse. And but anyhow, if you start to see how you construct your life, and that's why I said before, is harmony a construct? So that means like if it is, okay, maybe it's not. Maybe it is something that all your cells are happy and they're dancing together. But on the other hand, if you look at it as if it's a construct, well, then you can understand maybe how to deconstruct it or reconstruct it. And so then that's called empowering. You're on your own life and you're empowered.
Yeah.
You're empowered. Okay, now
Yep.
you're saying that, oh, that's equal with vibration. It's just if I understood you right. Okay,
Well,
there's a vibration
but even
going
the
on.
thoughts to deconstruct is a vibration, is an energy. So I'm just saying that the whole movement, whether it's thought, whether it's a felt sensation of warmth, whether it's like a feeling of the earth trembling, whether it's a sound, whether it's an eyelash.
Yeah. Everything's a vibration.
Yeah.
That's
But
so we can go
including
into that.
even including the interest to, like, we're helpless to that. We're helpless to the draw to harmony is what I'm saying, right? So gravity will bring water that's tilted. Eventually, in a bowl, it'll come to stillness. If it's still, right? If it keeps moving, then it'll keep sloshing all over the place. So it's like that construct. If the construct is in place, creating that sloshing water, sooner or later, somebody will say, okay, I'm tired of this sloshing around. And that would be drama, probably. There's got to be something more to this. And then as they meet the waves that are sloshing in that bowl, and then start to just open to it so that the water or the sloshing just goes through them instead of attempting to stop it. Awareness is there with what's going on. So it's not missed, it's included. Then eventually that bowl will come more and more into a harmonious sort of state. It doesn't mean that the world stops. It means that whatever it is in us that makes us stop and say, no, not that, and want to change it, that part softens down. So all the stuff still happens. We're all going to die. I want to
go back a little bit because we're going deeper and deeper. But I want to go back to something that I misunderstood. Let's say.
Okay.
And or I want to clarify it anyhow. When you say that we're floating in our sensation system and we're floating in a space and we're in the space and then everything's a vibration. And of course, all these things are agreeable. Who can deny any of that, But in a way, you're saying that the vibrations are the same, right? because you're just calling it, okay, everything's a vibration, so everything has some kind of similar quality that you need. Everything you're saying is an energy. So then I don't say energy. I say everything's a feeling that you're aware of, and everything that's not a feeling you're not aware of. And the feeling could be the five senses, so it could be light in your eyes, sound in your ears, or taste on your tongue. And also
I would say
feeling in your body, and your own
experiencing,
constraints.
right?
Yeah, and your own constraints, your own contractions in your bodily musculature. So that everything's a feeling for me. I wouldn't say everything's energy, because it kind of neutralizes everything. So then, in a way, you're saying everything's a vibration.
That's why I use it, because it's
Let me
neutral.
just finish.
Sorry.
Let me just finish. So then, everything's a vibration. So then, what I got from what you were saying is that if you are stuck on your cell phone for like 5 hours a day, no problem. That's not denying your life, because that's the part of your life that's a vibration. It's the equal to trying to solve your problems or get a better job or
Just to be clear,
having
though,
a
that's
better
not
diet.
what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. That's why I want to be real clear about that, because for me, I can go on YouTube and I could go for hours and hours, and there's a million things that are so interesting and that I have no clue about, and that I might want to know about it, but I do not do it because I have to give my time in a balanced way.
There you go. That's the harmony I'm talking about. That's the harmony I'm talking about.
About my own creations, and not be always listening to somebody else's creations, and honoring somebody else and say, oh, look, that guy made a really good video. Okay, now I'm making a video. It's not all that good, maybe. Okay, maybe it is good. But it's a different kind of a thing, I'm not trying to, it's not clickbait.
Right, but that's what I mean. That how you bring harmony to that. I mean, that is exactly what I mean. People will come to a saturation point and want to live their lives, or they won't. They'll just stay in the conditioning. They won't get interested. And that's up to them. I'm here for people who are interested
in what?
In something like what you're saying, that's not what you want, to live in harmony with your own draw, pull, interest, the things that
well, it's my own creativity. How do I build
your own
life?
creativity? Exactly.
Do I build my life by looking at other people create, or do I build my life by trying and failing and improving and making my own creativity? And creativity is also in my thought process and what my belief structures are. I have to create it, or otherwise I just adopt it. If I'm always reaching out, and that includes spiritual teachers, everything. That includes not only YouTube videographers. That includes just everything. That if I'm always reaching out, I'm not developing my own experiential pathway. And so then what I would like to say is like, give it balance, which means like give it at least equal time, but I give it more than equal time. I give it the majority of my time. I give to my creativity, whatever it could be. It could be music, painting, thought, writing, even translation, and making videos too, and which I haven't done very many lately, but it could be. Could be I'll get into it. And then expression, trying to express myself, right? And okay, so then what I'm doing is I'm setting up two poles. And one pole is reaching out and getting all kinds of information. And I'm just going to call it borrowed thought, because I'm trying to put a word on it that is the meaning. Borrowed thought. Oh, you got some more borrowed thought. Good for you. So then the other part is like, it's not really original thought, because maybe there is no original thought, but it's like, it just kind of dawned on me, these things, and then tomorrow it might like change a little bit, because I'm open. It's about openness, and I'm not open so much to the other and to society and our culture, which is feeding me all these things, and which our culture is embedded in me deeply, deeply, deeply. We said in another time, we said, the things we do and the things we think, maybe it comes from generations ago. And it's embedded in me. So then I'm not trying to really escape it, but I'm not trying to just express it. I'm just trying to see if I can author my own life, at least to some little bit, and each day, and then maybe a little bit more tomorrow. And that's how I see it.
Right. Yes, and I'm agreeing with you. The only part I'm not agreeing is that you're saying I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not at all saying that you're not saying it. I'm just
okay.
saying, please, let's be really clear what you're saying, and then.
Okay.
And
so,
because if you say something and I can attach misconstrued meaning to those words, then maybe those are not the correct words, or I could suggest that, or I could just ask you, okay, they work for you, these words, and they work for the people you talk to, but for me, please, let's see if there's an alternative word. For me,
well,
words are really important.
it sounds like you are saying the same thing. I mean, it does sound like you spend time, using your example, that you spend time filling up with whatever you're interested in, and then you spend time allowing your own creativity to come through. So that would be balance. That's what harmony is, right? It's where each person finds that for themselves. So I'm just saying I don't generalize on who is all watching beyond that balance and losing themselves perhaps in information out there. But even still, I mean, that might be part of their actual process until they come to a place where that they've had enough, where they're saturated. Right?
Well, I don't know. That's where I disagree. I think that's their misprocess. But anyhow.
Well, it is
okay,
until it isn't. It's just that we can't, they have to go wherever they go. We can't look over there and say what they should be like, right? And so.
No, I can't say that.
Yeah. So, everybody's on their own journey, and some people aren't interested. They like the drama, or they're used to it, or they don't know that they can live differently until they do.
Well, drama feels like power, it feels like power, but really it's disempowered,
Yeah.
In other words, when
truly.
I'm talking about my own creativity, I'm talking about being empowered, because I realized, I created this and I could create it different, and I did it yesterday, and I go for it and do it, and by golly, it comes out different. And so then I'm empowered, and I don't need to seek any help from anyone, because it works, and whatever I need for today is presented to me. And you could call that love too, but you don't even have to put a name on it. You just say, look, or you could just say, I'm really lucky. It has nothing to do with luck. It's just that I'm open.